On this episode of ResiWeek, we talk 8K demos at NAB, showrooming highlighting the network, and does remote destroy culture? All this and more on this episode of ResiWeek.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is ResiWeek, episode 322, New Stories to Tell.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by Crestron.
Welcome to this episode of ResiWeek. This is your weekly roundup of all the latest news and stories for the residential AV industry. I'm your host, Matty Scott for AVNation.tv. And this week I'm pleased to be joined by two of my good friends. First, we have Mr. Mitchell Klein. He's the executive director at the Z-Wave Alliance. How you doing, Mitch?
Hey, it's great to be back again. Love being on air with you and, of course, with Jeremy. And glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. The Jeremy that Mitchell so fondly speaks of is our good friend, Mr. Jeremy Glowacki. He's the executive editor at Residential Tech Today, coming to us today, not from a pool in Lanai, which I was kind of hoping for, but he's on vacation and spending some time with us. So thank you so much for that. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's nice to have a view of the ocean while I'm on a podcast as a guest. You're my one work-related activity this week, so congratulations for getting me. Yeah.
I know it's all Mitchell, but I'm touched.
Well, that was part of it. I vowed to only be on podcasts with Mitchells. Last month it was Mitchell the producer. This is Mitchell Klein, the famous Mitchell Klein. So good friend and favorite.
Lifetime Achievement Award winner. We could go through a list.
Yeah.
We don't need to. I'm just thrilled to be here with you guys. It's so much fun. So.
All right, gentlemen, let's kick this off with a story that comes to us from Residential Systems. 8K demos have been planned for NAB, the NAB show in Las Vegas in 2022. If you don't know what NAB is, that's the National Association of Broadcasters. So if you're a filmmaker, if you're a TV, like local TV news network, if you are a film producer, if you're a TV producer, if you make shorts on like YouTube, at some point you will end up going to NAB. I used to love NAB. I haven't been in a couple of years, but it is arguably my most enjoyable trade show. Don't take anything personally against that, Cedia or Avixa, but I love NAB.
Ouch.
Right? Now, I'm an old film guy. It's where I started. So I love it. It's cameras. And lots of cameras. Makes me happy. All right. This is, I don't want to say this is a huge deal, but I think it is a bigger deal than most people are realizing. It's going to be in the Futures Park of the West Hall, and they're going to essentially demonstrate, the 8K Association is going to demonstrate the evolving maturity of the 8K ecosystem. So, Mitch, I want to start with you on this. This is, to me, going to be a really big deal because 8K is not new. It's been around for a little bit. There are a few people filming in it, but it's not yet anywhere near the mainstream. What needs to happen for content creators? And I use that knowing that most people will think YouTube and TikTok when I say that, but it does cover the entire swath of the TV and film industry. What is it going to take for that industry to make that leap? And then what's the time frame on when that trickles down to us?
Let me take my crystal ball on this one. I just want to know, does this mean I'm going to have to buy another new TV again?
Yes, it does.
I mean, I can really see why it's exciting for content creators. Absolutely, I could see that. I mean, the ability to customize your shots, to zoom in on your shots, I can see that as really significant ability to manipulate the images that you've created. In terms of viewing, I don't know. I mean, how much more detail do we want on a network news broadcast, or how much do we really need on a sporting event? I'm not sold on it on the viewer side. And I'm definitely open-minded to hear it. But on the content side, wow, that's going to be awesome. And I think once the tools are available, I see that being a very, very positive progressive technology for all of you filmmakers.
I like it. And I'll say I don't care about the local news, but I would be really happy if the referees and the umpires had some 8K content to zoom in and go, yeah, that was actually last touched by UConn.
I don't
Not
know
South
that's gonna help
Carolina.
them.
That was touched by UConn. Come on. And if you watch last night's game, you'll understand.
I think body cams are what they need, but that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole, yeah, we're not touching that one. Not at all. But thank you. Jeremy, Mitch brought up a really good point from the evolution of this, right? Even when 4K came out, I deal personally, my company deals with a lot of house of worship, a lot of churches, and we'll put in 4K systems to give us a wide shot in 4K that we down convert to 1080p and use the same shot to punch in and get another 1080p zoom shot. Out of one camera, we get two different angles. It's fantastic. That is going to be a big deal, but we also saw through the Tokyo Olympics that they streamed 8K to a couple of countries. They mentioned in the article 8K TVs in Brazil. We're seeing Samsung has them on the market. I believe Sony has them on the market. Are we going to sit back as an industry and really wait for content, or are we going to kind of jump the gun again the same way we did with 4K and just, hey, if you're an early adopter and you want it, we will sell this to you?
Yeah, I don't doubt that's going to happen. There's always people like that. And we're going to be at trade shows as the professionals who talk about this stuff and who, in your case, actually sell this stuff. And you're going to get so far ahead of the curve because you forget what is real and what is just trade show conversation, you know? I mean, I lost track at 4K when, you know, I'd have to talk to neighbors and friends who wanted to know more about the latest TVs. And I would lose track of what was real and what was vaporware for me at a trade show. You know, what was a demo model and what was widely available. I'd have to stop and go to a retail store like a, you know, Best Buy or something and see what are they actually selling. And of course, I'm the worst when it comes to investing in a new TV because I always feel like there's just one thing better that I need to wait for because I've been through that curve so many times. And it took me a minute to get the 4K TV, and I don't regret it at all now, although I've learned what I should have known better and missed out on in terms of lighting array and things like that. But when you go bigger on a screen, and we know like the micro LED and all that, the mini LEDs, all that stuff's going on, the better the resolution, the better those big images are going to look. So, you know, in your commercial applications, there's going to be huge improvements there. How big can you go in a house? And it's got to be those really high-end, high net worth walls of video that you're going to see, that you really see the difference. But in a theater, I mean, how much more resolution can you get? You're actually probably going to process that down to something more cinematic always to make it look like what it should be in a movie. The live TV, that's going to look amazing. It's going to look like it's popping off the screen. And you're right, it's like that replay situation. That's going to be amazing because you're not going to have pixels when it goes down there.
I think I can trade up my 3D TV, maybe.
No, you gotta keep wearing the glasses and keep watching that demo reel of Avatar again. Oh, I was actually at my dad's house last weekend, and he's got an older Panasonic that has the 3D in it, and for whatever reason, he keeps getting the pop-up that it's like 3D is available. Click OK to start. He's like, should we do that? I'm like, no, we should not. Don't ever do that.
I have a pair of Epson goggles that I've never opened that I should try to sell on the black market somewhere.
Yes. Hey, thanks for watching the first segment of this week's episode. To catch the entire show, please click the link below or visit avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.